Jnanadimenandasya Gananjana Shalakayakshakshurunmilitam Jena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha. Welcome to Devotion Yoga, a program for yoga philosophy. So if you're here for the first time, if you're from India, then do help this channel grow by subscribing and thus fulfilling your dharma towards the cause. And if you're not from India, then welcome. And I just want to talk about Djokovic and his latest comment at the US Open, which is totally in line with Sanatana Dharma, with Bhakti Yoga, with the teachings of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Now, if you may not know, Djokovic is somewhat involved with the Bhakti tradition. A couple of years ago, there was this photograph of him playing with his son in his house in Monte Carlo, where he's, it kind of went viral. And you see in the background on the wall, as you can see here, you see a picture of Krishna, a famous sort of traditional Jaipur style painting, maybe by the famous painter Sharma, of Krishna. And so that picture kind of went viral. The fact that he's already, plant-based in his diet, he's already met, devotees of Krishna. Apparently, Satchidananda Swami, a pretty famous leader in the Krishna consciousness movement, spoke with his wife. So there's some pretty good evidence that he's at least to say the least flirted with the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. But as you can see now in this video, where the commentator is quoting to him what the famous retired tennis player Andy Roddick has to say about him, and then when he says that Djokovic takes out your soul, you can see what he says. This is what he says.
I want you to think about this, quote from Andy Roddick, somebody you played a lot. He says, Novak first takes out your legs, then he takes out your soul.
Thanks, Andy. I take that as a compliment. Only the first part. The second part, I don't take anybody's soul. Everyone has their soul. We are all beautiful souls, so I appreciate everyone.
Now, this is beautiful. I mean, this is sport preaching, so to speak, spiritual messages par excellence. I mean, it doesn't get really better than this, where the sportsman not only says, admits that we have a soul, as he does, but he says we are all souls. And therefore, I love everybody. I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing. In the Bhagavad Gita, this is like Bhagavad Gita ABC. Krishna says we are not our bodies. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Dehinosmin yata dehe komaram yovanam jara. The soul is changing from one body to the other, etc. In the 5th chapter, verse, the famous Vidya Vinaya Sampani, I think it's 5:18, he makes that famous statement, about being samadarshinaha, seeing an elephant or a dog eater or a Brahmin or an outcast with an equal vision. In other words, seeing the soul and not the body. So that's like the foundational teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. And here Djokovic is saying, everybody has a soul. We are all souls. We are all souls. And that's even really cool, because it means even more cool because he doesn't go into the sort of the non-dualist, route by saying, actually, we're all one. He's accepting that we are all individual souls. And actually that, now that I think about it, comes directly, in line with the 2nd chapter, verse 12 or 14 of the Gita, where Krishna says that, never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So that verse establishes the individuality of all souls even after moksha, even after liberation from repeated birth and death. And that's exactly what, Djokovic is saying, that we are all souls.
We are all beautiful souls, so I appreciate everyone.
So what does that mean? That means that the communication efforts of people who practice bhakti yoga is undoubtedly having an effect on society at large. And it should inspire you if you're involved in the bhakti tradition. It should inspire you that you're on the right path, that you've accepted the right paradigm, or at least it should encourage you that you're part of a tradition which is increasingly becoming hip and popular and worthy of high-profile people to start embracing, which is good news, because there was sort of a lull for about a few decades between George Harrison and the Beatles and perhaps someone like Djokovic. Of course, it's not that he's a full-on Hare Krishna devotee, and the fact is, there's still millions and billions of people out there who have no idea who Krishna is, and the fact remains that Gaudiya Vaishnavism still remains an insignificantly small spiritual tradition on the marketplace of religions out there. So, the very fact that I'm making a video about, hey, look, there's a famous tennis player, Djokovic, talked in terms of the Bhagavad Gita's teachings that we're all souls, that's in a way kind of embarrassing, because if Bhakti Yoga really was really well established on earth, then such stars or entertainers or famous people making a comment like that, basically straight out of the Bhagavad Gita, would be commonplace and wouldn't be worth celebrating. But hey, every first step, every long journey starts with the first step. So if historically speaking the bhakti tradition is at this place, historically speaking, then we should celebrate each step, and having the number one tennis player in the world on the biggest stage of the world at the US Open, telling the world that, hey, we are all souls, and we should love everybody because we all are souls, and we should see each other as souls, is a great accomplishment. And we should thank Krishna and thank Lord Chaitanya, thank Prabhupada for having been for having introduced this type of consciousness into modern society today. That's a good sign. 1, 2, 3, 4